They'll be cheering on their relay team tonight. Spanish team, of course, a little bit depleted. Jose Maria Alcaraz out through illness. We saw him in the audience earlier. The Argentinians, they've had a good night tonight. A lot of finalists. Picked up a medal in the women's breaststroke. Spanish in there, making their way to lane 1. The Americans there, the Canadians. Can they challenge for the medals? The Australians, well, you can bet they'll be in the shake-up. China will also be strong too. There is Spain in lane number 1. Antonio Pons Bertrand goes on the first leg for them. Alec Elliott goes on the first leg for the Canadian team. China, well, they will be extremely strong, the Chinese. They are the world record holders, but this team of Russia, well, there is no weak link in that team. It's superb.
Absolutely bulletproof, aren't they?
Can the Ukrainians pose a challenge? Can the Australians get in the medals again? And the USA, well, the young team there from the USA. And the Argentinians, well, as I said, good night. Lots of finalists tonight. And it's good to see them being able to field the relay team here. But there is Russia, there is Ukraine. Well, the Russians have gone with 3 8s and a 10, Giles.
Well, that's right. 34 points. 34 points spread across the 4 swimmers. You can have any combination you want as long as you don't go over 34. Classic style is to go 7, 8, 9, 10, or 2 7s, 2 10s, 2 8s, 2 9s. The Russians, who we think are the favourites, they're going to lead off with an 8 in Lysenkov. But boy, is he some 8. The Australians are going to start with a 10 in Michael Anderson, so we would expect to see them lead after the first leg, Paul.
Canada also going with the 10, Alec Elliott in lane number 2, so they may be in the mix in the early stages. Alec Elliott going there, and it is the 2 S10s who lead them out as expected. A little bit very close in the center. Lin Jiaobing for China in lane number 3, Lysenkov in 4, Bozinski in lane number 5. Bozinski and Lysenkov, of course, gold and silver medalists in the S800 backstroke, and the Chinese going with an S9 on their first leg.
Well, the Canadians and the Australians are burning big points in their first 2 swimmers. They're both going to have gone through 19 of their available 34 points after the first 2 legs. Canadians going well with Alec Elliott there at the top of your screen in the white hat as he come up now to the first changeover. It will be the breaststroke leg of James LaRue who will go in for Canada. They get a pretty good changeover. The Aussies are better, and they now go on to Rick Pendleton. But the Russians have just put Andrei Kalina into the water, and he is a force to be reckoned with, even though he is a class below Elliott and Pendleton, who are ahead of him. Also going well, Lin Furong of China, Paul.
Yeah, Lin Furong, a breaststroke medalist in the SB9 class, but Kalina, the SB8 swimmer, with both arm disabilities. Kalina with the shorter stump arm, that's why he's an SB8, and he is closing the gap on the 2 leaders now. James LaRue of Canada and Rick Pendleton for Australia, but here comes Andrei Kalina, and Russia have got, well, they're back on level terms here, almost with the leading 2, and they look untouchable here as they come into the 3rd leg.
Well, the Russians have got 3 points in hand over the teams that they are level with. The Russians have just had a very good changeover indeed. They just put Dmitry Grigorev, an S10, into the water, and well, the Aussies are in real trouble here because they are now onto an 8, and they will then switch onto a 7 in Matt Levy. This will be where the Russians will be starting to make the rest of the field pay through the nose, because when they come on to the final swimmer, they're going to put Denis Tarasov into the water, who is the world record holder in the SA class.
Well, the Australians holding on to second position. Grigorev stretching the lead though for the Russians. Australia coming back now under threat because it's Denis Dubrov for Ukraine right next to them. That's the black cap of Denis Dubrov going ahead of the Australians now. China also going well with Song Mayadong. China have got a very strong 100 freestyle swimmer at the end. It's Wang Yinan, but not as strong as Denis Tarasov. He is away and clear. Dubrov hands over to Yevgeny Bodaiko. It's Wang Yinan in now for China, and it's Matt Levy in for Australia, but the Russians look supreme.
Well, Wang Yinan absolutely going like a train just out of your shot. He's heeling in Bodaiko of the Ukraine, and looks now like he's going to turn in front of him. Denis Tarasov of Russia going very well indeed. The Chinese just moving out of your shot there, going the other way. This is Denis Tarasov, and he looks absolutely superb. The Chinese now have moved into the silver medal position. The Aussies are trying desperately to come back at the Ukrainians, but I think it's too much, Paul.
And here comes Denis Tarasov. It's surely going to be a big world record for the Russian team. Tarasov takes it. It is a massive world record. 4:06.09. China get the silver medal, 4:14.09, and it is Bodaiko in for Ukraine for the bronze, 4:18.25, hugged by his teammates. But Denis Tarasov, well, there was no touching him. He went into the last leg in the lead, and he was never, ever going to be caught. There's his teammates, Grigorev, Kalina, and Lysenkov. That is a top quality quartet, and anyone that was going to beat them were going to have to be sensational. The Russians take the gold in a world record time, 3 seconds almost off the old mark.
Well, on paper they looked amazing, and they didn't disappoint, did they, Paul? They were absolutely brilliant. By the time they'd gone through the second leg, they had 3 points in hand over Canada and Australia. And there was big celebrations we saw at the end from the Ukrainian team, because last night they got pipped by the Australians to the bronze medal in the freestyle relay, and tonight, well, they've managed to just hang on and stop the Aussies doing the same thing to them again. Well, the Chinese were good, very evenly spread team. They went off with a 9 and then used another 9 and finished with 2 8s. That's a nice way to spread a relay team. And here is Denis Tarasov bringing it home for the Russians. Big whack onto the time pad. There's no way that that wasn't going to work.
Oh, great roar there from Denis Tarasov. There's his teammates, Lysenkov, Grigorev, and Kalina in the background. He has been an important addition to that Russian team at these championships.
Yeah, massive strength in depth that the Russians have here.
Russian Federation take the gold in a world record time. China the silver, Ukraine the bronze.